Okay, so I wonder what your reaction is to the latest news that the vote has been delayed in Parliament. What is the significance of that?
I think it's just another case of the government pushing everything further and further into the future. I think throughout the entire Brexit process, there's been this issue of taking the major trade-offs and major kind of inconsistencies in what we're trying to achieve, and just constantly just saying we'll deal with that on another day. And so I'm not particularly surprised, to be honest with you.
Right. And so what do you think will happen next? Will there be more negotiations?
Well, the EU doesn't seem to want to have another round of negotiations. It's made it quite clear that it doesn't want to take the withdrawal agreement back to the table. But it seems like if the government's postponed this vote, it seems like that might be its intention. I think it's understandable because, as well, nobody expected it to actually go through. There was talk of perhaps having two votes, one, and then waiting to see what happens when it doesn't go her way, and then having another one. But she's obviously decided to take a gamble on pushing the whole thing back. Whether it's going to actually mean that she gets a majority when the vote finally happens, I'm not convinced.
Okay. So what do you think were the main factors behind Brexit in Salford? Because Salford voted for Brexit.
In Salford, it's difficult to say. I mean, I think the government's main interpretation of the vote definitely tends to focus on the issue of control, and it seems to have taken the whole control of borders and freedom of movement as the key driver for the Brexit process. Really, I don't know whether that's particularly the case in Salford, but I think in Salford you do see perhaps a slightly disjointed area. You've got big kind of modern things going on, like Media City, obviously, and the university. Very quickly, things can start to change, and there are some areas of Salford which are obviously very deprived, and so I don't know particularly why Salford voted to leave. It's quite difficult to say.
Okay. And what effect do you think any kind of Brexit would have on businesses in Salford?
Well, again, it's difficult to say. I mean, hopefully, if we do get the withdrawal agreement, nothing's going to change for the foreseeable future. If we extend the transition, which is very likely, nothing substantially will change until potentially 2022 or beyond that. I think the main changes for most businesses, though, I mean, things which are impacting them now, so skills is a big one. Lots of our major sectors across Greater Manchester are already having issues recruiting people. Construction, manufacturing, digital, they're all having problems recruiting people as it is, and they're all sectors which are heavily reliant on workers from the EU. We've had members of the Chamber of Commerce tell us that they've had staff leave already because they don't feel secure about their future. And so I think anything which makes it more difficult for businesses to access the labour that they need from across the world will potentially be the number one impact, I think, in the short term for most companies.
I think that's well, Dave, that's